Good morning, all of you all out there in Facebook
And
land.
happy Boxing
Happy
Day.
Boxing Day. Hope everyone had
Yeah.
an awesome Christmas, and how many are feeling a little bit of relief that the Christmas season is coming to an end, even though it was amazing. You have to admit, it was probably a really good time, more than you realized, but it does bring a lot of pressure with it as well. And
Yes.
today we really wanted to talk about conclusions, because there's been a lot of a conclusion type universe going on for, I'm sure, a lot of people. Um, because we decided how Christmas is probably gonna look, and so how many guilty
Yes.
of that, and what did it do for you? Let me guess, nothing at all, except for make you totally miserable, stressed for no absolute reason, and changed nothing, but just made your world a little more difficult to cope with and deal with. So, what else can you choose? And if you're not in a conclusion universe, what other options are available? Well, living as the question.
Yes.
This is something we really could do more of, is live as the question.
Hi, Kate.
Morning, Kate.
There.
We were just talking about how we're pretty relieved that Christmas is over, even though it was amazing, but that a lot of us likely had a lot of conclusions about what Christmas was going to look like. And instead of living in an all conclusion universe, we do have other little choices, and that is called living as the question.
Oh. And it so opens you up when you're stuck in a place and you think you have like no choice, and you ask one silly little question, seemingly silly little question, and it's just like relief, like, oh, there's so much more choice here.
Good
Oh,
morning,
hi,
Laverne. We're talking about conclusions and how they're really not the best option for life, and that maybe we could ask questions instead. So I have a couple of my favorite books. One is The 10 Keys to Total Freedom.
It's a good one.
Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here. And I just read this little section. So, and it's about living as the question, not the conclusion. So if you're not functioning as the question, or if you're not asking an actual question, you're headed in one direction. It's as if you have walls to the left of you and walls to the right. You can't see over the walls. You can't see around them. You can't see through them. You can't see between them. You can only go in that one direction. And it's funny because Kara and I were saying it reminds us of Dr. Seuss. So once you ask a question, doors open to the left and the right, and you see possibilities that you never considered before. The question is the key to allowing those possibilities to exist. We walk around acting like we don't have other choices and possibilities available. We're not willing to be the question, and the way to get there is to start asking questions.
Yes.
You're walking down a narrow corridor called your life. You have walls to either side, and when you can't see any other, you have walls to either side, and you can't see any other possibilities. It's like putting up your barriers. You have a point of view about something, you've come to a conclusion about something, so you can't see anything else. If, however, you ask a question, doors open to the left and they open to the right. If you be the question, there are no walls to limit your awareness of what you can have or be. The walls cease to exist. And isn't it the walls you've been bumping your head up against your whole life while wondering, how do I get through this wall? How do I get through this? How do I get through this wall? You get through this wall by being the question, which starts by asking a question. And lots of times we just, we think we're asking a question, but really it's a statement with a question mark at the end. It's like, is that really a question that you're asking? Or is it a conclusion that you're trying to make into a question.
Yes.
So how many are guilty of this reality? And what else can you choose? What question? So, like, even when you're wondering, like, well, how do I ask a question? I don't even know what you mean by that. So, if you find yourself stuck in this situation, like say you're in a relationship, for instance, and you feel like you have no choice, you don't like the way the other person is in their relationship, so you try to go into a wrongness about yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? Well, that isn't really, that's the question that's not a question. That's the question with a, like, that's a statement, that's a conclusion. What's wrong with me? Well, no, that isn't a question. You're saying,
well, because
something's wrong with you.
And when you're looking for a wrongness, what are you going to find?
Exactly.
More wrongness.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's like, allowing that other person to be whoever they're going to be, and you just get to choose for you and ask, like, what is it that I want to create? What is it that I want out of my life? And can I just be and do that anyways? And whatever happens, happens. Like, we're always so worried, and we jump to conclusions that if I make this choice, if I act this way, or do this thing.
If this, then this.
Yeah,
right?
then this is going to happen. Well, we don't know that. So why don't you just ask yourself a question? What is it here that I want?
And it's so funny because I didn't know what we were going to be talking about today. And in the shower, a new 30-day challenge actually came up. And I'm like, I just know this is going to tie in with whatever Krista decides that we're going to chat about today. And I'm so excited. And if you want to join me, and if any of you want to join me, the question is just simply, what else is possible here that I have never even considered? And everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all.
Hell yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And usually with 30-day challenges, I do all 30 in the shower. Or like first thing in the morning. That's how I usually do it. But I've decided with this one, because it's really going to create change, is to do it throughout the day. So every time I get into where I have conclusion, right, or like expect I know what's going to happen,
yes,
all of a sudden stop yourself and be like, what else is possible that I've never even considered?
Oh,
and I'm going to get a little
tingles.
ticker on my phone where you can keep track of it 30 times a day.
It's almost like a zapper. It's like every time you're like, oh, wall's up,
Totally.
Like, and what was your question again?
What else is possible here that I've never even considered?
Yeah, I love that. It's like,
because
we're coming to conclusions.
Well, and another thing is we do truly run on autopilot. We have been programmed to be a certain way for so long that even when you are in the act of trying to become more conscious, it's still easy to do the same thing you've always done, like, because that's what you've done. So this question for me, I really just feel it's a real key to freedom.
And it is such autopilot. I love that, because I had a day last week, and I was just like, everything was a conclusion. I woke up in a bad mood, and I was like, I'm in a bad mood. Conclusion. Did I ask myself what I could do to change it? No. Then I carried along, and my kids were like fighting and driving me crazy, and then I reacted to them, and then I was like, oh, I'm being a bad mom, and I'm not, being, laid back. Well, another conclusion. Did I ask myself, what can I do with this? What is this? Can I change it? If so, how? No, didn't do that. Another conclusion. Then I was like, oh, my hip hurts. My hip hurts. So, conclusion. My hip hurts.
Never asking, wait a minute, is this even mine?
Yeah,
right?
like, because 99% of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, pains, aches in our bodies aren't ours, but we just come to conclusion after conclusion after conclusion about everything.
And you know what? I gotta say, this actually happened to me yesterday. Lee and I got back to his place after we had Christmas morning, and I had the worst stomach ache. I was just like, oh my goodness, like I feel like I'm gonna die. My stomach hurts so bad. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this even mine? And I expanded out and I just started laughing like it was gone. It was gone.
And when it happens, it's that
ridiculous.
easy. But we
Yeah.
don't. We put walls up and we're like, nope, this pain is
Because
mine.
and it feels very
does.
real. So the minute you buy it as yours, then it is yours. It becomes yours, and it's so easy to buy that it is.
Totally.
So just try it out, like because the worst that'll happen is you'll continue to have whatever you had. But what if you could just get rid of it too?
So anytime you're like making statements about something,
Yeah.
be like, oh, am I asking a question here? Or am I just concluding? So anything that's going on in your life, I don't want to work today, or I wish I didn't have to clean the house today. Is that a question? Like, is there something else possible? Is there someone else that can contribute to you that you never considered? Like me. Like,
what else is possible that I've never even considered?
Like, I was so stressed before Christmas about how messy my house was. This was like quite a bit before Christmas, but it's just an example. And Crystal Crawford, I'm taking the Relentless Profit program with her, and she was like, well, what else can contribute to you in your life that maybe you haven't considered? Do you need to add anything to your life? Because we think we need to handle everything all the time. And like, I was thinking, well, I don't want to I don't like people coming into my home and cleaning my house because that's weird to me. And so that's where it just kind of, what else is possible? Yeah. And so it dawned on me that I could ask Izzy. And I'm like, hey, Izzy, would you clean, well, she cleaned her room. And then I said, would you clean Cammie's room and I'll pay you $10. And she was like all over that.
Everybody wins.
So instead of just being like, I have no choice, is that a question? No, it's not a fucking question.
Yeah.
So what else is possible that I haven't even considered?
Yes.
That's another good one. Is that the question?
That's the one.
That is the
question.
Yeah.
What else is possible that I've never even considered?
Yeah.
Huge. It will change your life.
It will change your
life.
life.
I'm starting that today. If anyone wants to join, 30 times a day.
Yeah. And it just like gently pushes the barriers down, and it actually is this where it talks about the doors opening? I think it's in here. Let me see. This is Salon de Femme, another very fantastic book by, lo and behold, Gary Douglas. Seem to be enjoying a lot of his books lately. How many places have you chosen to avoid creation based on choice of possibility in favor of the probability of what everybody else will accept, align, and agree with? Everything that is times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And I believe that everyone here that is watching knows the clearing statement. But if you're watching in the future at a different time, that is the clearing statement from Access Consciousness. And you can check it out on theclearingstatement.com.
Well, and the greatest thing is you don't have to know what the hell it means, but like for me, I just noticed right there when Krista asked, and maybe you did too, like all of a sudden I just like felt a lightness and like a sigh, and it's like, oh, expansive energy.
Totally.
So it works without you even knowing.
So every choice will open the doors of possibility. Every choice creates multiple possibilities. Every possibility and choice creates a set of possibilities. So every time you choose, you create a set of possibilities. So when you're not like going into conclusion and you're choosing instead, you are creating more possibilities. Just by imagining the idea, you create choice and 10 possibilities open up. Then you choose again and another 10 possibilities open up. In the first, one choice creates a set of possibilities, and in the second, another set of possibilities tie together 2 of the choices you created as possibilities. That's how you start creating the cobwebs of the future to actualize, to come into reality, the existence of a different possibility. So every choice creates a multiple set of possibilities. We keep trying to come to conclusion, thinking that's going to solidify the choice we make and create a correct point of view to get the result we desire.
Yeah.
Everything that brings up times a gazillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond.
And I got kind of a vision of just that in the shower this morning when I got the idea to start asking that. And they showed it to me like all of my points of view and all of conclusions and all that, like as this great big wall around me. And, you know, like you're kind of trapped in this wall. And then when you ask, what else is possible here that I've never considered? I saw it like sneaking through a crack in the wall, and all of a sudden you're on the other side of the wall and you're like, holy shit, like it's a universe of possibilities, and it can be scary because it's like it's pretty comfortable inside that wall, even though we don't like it, but it was just like, woo, freedom.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Yeah, so.
And then once you do cross that like line, or you know, you put that wall down, or you open up doors to the left and doors to the right, and you step out into that space. Once you do that once or twice, 3 times, 4 times, it starts to not feel so scary.
Yeah, but at first you're kind of like with your back against
Scaling
the wall.
a wall.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, with a cliff below you, and you're like, oh, am I going to make the right choice or the wrong choice?
Oh, and then and then it can go into that for sure. Barriers down and expand out.
Right.
Yes, Leanne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, Leanne.
It's a freeing feeling. It can be scary because the unknown is scary, but it's so freeing.
But once you get a little taste of that, you want more. You really do realize that there's no turning back.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're creating your reality. You're creating for you now and in the future, and you have a say in your future if you allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And then you just want more and more, and then you're like, oh, and it's actually really simple. Like, it doesn't always feel simple because you also can be met with a lot of resistance by other people because nobody else is doing that. Like, there's very few people doing that. So it does feel a little more scary. But then when you don't give a shit, and you're just like, well, I'm going to choose this anyways. I'm having this,
well, when
and I
you
don't
start
care.
seeing how simple it actually makes your life, like life becomes so much simpler when you just like start choosing different choices, that, like the ones that create, chaos in your life anyways.
That saved my life this Christmas. Oh, it really did change Christmas, right? Because it became like, you know what, I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to do what I want. Like you even going home yesterday and just being like, well, I could choose to like worry that other people might be like, well, why didn't she stay? And,
and that does go through your mind, but it's like, no, like ask what would be best, and then just trust it, and don't go back into the whys or anything like that. Just be friggin' happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, did anything come up for anyone over Christmas? Did anyone try is a lie. Did anybody, I actually, half the time I'm really good at giving, like, examples of how to protect and ground yourself, and don't always do that myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually take my own advice this holiday season and use some of the tools. So I did, like, I really used, like, the cloak, put on the cloak, and, carried my crystals. I wore frankincense.
Yes, me too. I got frankincense for Christmas. So, like, perfect timing.
And, like, did the things that would actually help you. Like, it's like, asking the question, like, how can I make this holiday season better? Well, how about you use the tools you've been telling everybody else to use? Like, that would be an option,
Yes.
And it really did work.
Yeah, it really works when you use the tools. Yeah. It really does.
Oh, it was just, such a lighter Christmas. Once I got past the conclusions that I had come to, like what it might look like, what it might feel like, and hopefully there's no trauma and drama and all that. Once like allowing yourself to just let everything fall down around you and be like, you know what, this is the one time of year that we all stress so much, what else is possible here? What can I do instead?
Yes.
Can I just enjoy it? Because when do you get together and hang out with everyone?
Yes.
Like our whole family, for one. Like we all live in this Davidson area, and we're never all together.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. It was so amazing.
Yes.
Good morning, Auntie Karen.
Good morning.
Except I didn't get to see you, Auntie Karen. But it sounded like you guys had an amazing time.
It was
Christmas.
So wonderful. It was a blast from the past.
Yeah. So
and ease and joy and glory, Leanne. That's funny because you know what? I've been trying. I have been becoming more aware of saying all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory in the morning and at night, and as honest or as often, I should say. I was reading Laverne's. Oh, I love your refreshing honesty so much.
Yeah, I've been using that too every morning for sure. I've kind of been forgetting as the day goes on.
Because it really reminds you, it doesn't mean that life is going to be full of sunshine and unicorns, but it reminds you that you have a choice in how you want to react to everything.
Exactly.
To everything. And so just being like, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, and it just gets lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yeah.
Hey?
And just as such a reminder, you guys, that anything that feels heavy and makes you feel contracted is a lie.
It
and it
is not yours.
You. So ask a question. What is causing me to feel like this right now? Is this even mine, or is it someone or something else's? And what can I do with this? Anytime, again, I'm going to say it over and over, but anytime you are saying a statement, you are coming to a conclusion. And that is going to do nothing but put up walls and barriers around you. It just puts a stop.
Like they say, a conclusion or answer stops the energy flow. A question opens it up. So every time you come to a conclusion, you're putting up barriers around you.
I'm in a nutshell.
I'm in a nutshell. I have no choice.
How do I get out of here? Well, that would be a smart thing to ask. How do I get out of here?
Yes.
How do I get out of this world of a prison that feels like I'm so stuck? How do I get out of this? What is this? What can I do with this? How can I change this? And if so, how? Because sometimes you can't change something, but you still always have a choice. It's if something's not working for you, you always have another choice available to you.
Yeah, whatever feels light is true for you, and whatever feels heavy is a lie.
Yeah.
And I actually want to say too about that, for a long time, is this true for me? Yes or no? And lightness is supposed to make you, lightness means go in that direction. For a long time, I don't know, this isn't working. I don't know how to use this tool. But if you just keep practicing it every single day, I realized actually today, I'm like, oh, I'm really starting to get this lightness thing in my body. And, maybe I always did, but I was too scared,
Yeah. And when you say, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, actually.
Again, it is another conclusion where you're just you're too scared to look beyond what else is possible. And you're too, you don't want to, you really do know what you want to do, but you don't want to admit it because you don't want other people to judge you, and you don't want to have to do something you've never done before because you're too scared.
That's why the tool was broken for the last 6 months, and it's finally started working. It's all right.
Yeah. And this came up in a Zoom call that I just rewatched this morning, and it was, what are you that you will not choose? So when you're in a situation and you're like, I don't know what to do, you could ask yourself, what are you that you will not choose? And what if you did? It's what if you just allowed yourself to do the things that didn't seem to be the things and just went for it anyways? If you just, you feel so nervous and so scared, what if that's just a potency?
Yeah.
Lying beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And you're screaming deep down inside to break free from this prison, but you don't want to because you're too scared.
Two energies that feel very much the same, right?
Yes.
Is this potency or is this fear? What's going on?
That's huge to me.
Yeah.
And so what if you did? Like, what if you just chose it? And who the fuck would you be willing to lose that would give you all of you? Like, we make so many of our choices based on, well, I can't, I have to have this person in my life. I don't want to hurt their feelings. You know, like all the excuses and all of the reasons and justifications. It's like, are you willing to give up you for someone else? And maybe you are, and that's just your choice. But what if you were willing to go beyond that? What else would be possible?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So,
Well,
what time have we got here?
11:26.
Few more minutes here. So, when you find yourself in these conclusions, please ask yourself what's going on here.
And what else is possible that I've never even considered?
Yeah.
And you don't have to have an answer.
No.
That's another thing. Because you don't... If you have an answer to the question, then you're just putting up another wall right
It's
away,
another
right?
conclusion.
Yes.
Answers are the conclusion.
The questions aren't meant to give answers. They're meant to give possibilities, right? It's like, whoa. Again, outside that wall, scaling the outside of your barriers.
Yeah.
What else is possible?
Questions empower you and the answers disempower you. So it's like you're asking a question. You're asking the universe the question. You're not asking yourself so that you can figure it out and get it right or wrong.
And it's got to happen this way and this way and this way and this way. And then you end up in the same place you were in a different variation, right?
That's why it's like ask the question and then what else is possible that I haven't even considered here.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Anyone want to join in on that? 30 times a day?
Just I'm sure you can get some kind of little ticker thing. I know Crystal Crawford's talked about that before. And
or you can write it down you can write yourself a graph.
With you too.
Yeah. Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
So, what else is possible that
and
you
what
haven't
can
even
happen
considered?
within this 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Exciting times. All right, you guys.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll
enjoy
see.
your Boxing Day.
Yeah. And next Wednesday is also New Year's Day. So, again, stay tuned for...
Is it 2020 or is it the last day?
Oh.
That's the question.
But we will keep you guys posted on our next Wild and Wacky Chit Chat.
We'll either see you at the last day of 2019 or the first day of 2020.
Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the holidays if you're back to work. Enjoy being back into routine, whatever. Ask yourself questions.
Yes.
Bye-bye.